Welcome everyone to episode 37 of the draft. This will be the NASCAR Cup Series championship episode at Phoenix. I'm pumped, Tino's pumped, Phil's pumped. And this is a special night because for the first time ever, we have a guest joining us on the draft. Mamba
Oh,
Smith. You know him, you've seen him out
mhm.
there repping NASCAR, bringing the energy, positivity. I know people that have met you outside of these guys. I know Tino has too, and said that you're super nice, genuine dude. So figured we have you on. Talk some NASCAR tonight. You get to make some picks with the crew. Mamba, thanks for joining. How you feeling tonight?
First of all, I did not know that was the first guest that you guys have had on. So you know, thank you for the honor.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, if you look at social media, you will think that, man, maybe that guy's an asshole. I swear I'm not. I swear to you, I help out anyone and everyone that comes my direction. Like if it looks like I'm brash, it's 100% because someone stepped to me the other way first. But I just like racing, man. I just want to talk
Yeah.
race cars. I want this thing to be great, and I love jumping on podcasts like what you guys got, man. I'm excited to be here.
All right, thanks, man. Yeah, and that's the beauty of this show is that there's no wrong answers. We're just gonna
Mhm.
talk NASCAR. It's like
Oh,
we'll have some of the same picks, we'll have some different picks, and it is what it is. The cool thing about this show is at the end of the episode, next week, I guess I'll announce it on Monday, who won the race, and whoever wins picks a charity, and when the race donates to it. So it's always for a good, positive cause as well. So
I love
you'll
that.
have the chance to take us down and pick a charity, which would be cool.
That's cool.
All right, Tino,
Yes,
how you
sir.
feeling? I'll jump to you next. How you doing?
Well, if you want to know, I'm actually feeling it's pretty bad because I lost the draft. I mean, I was locked in. If everyone saw last week's episode, it was a make or break for me. I was in a Ryan Blaney situation. I had to win 2 races, not only Martinsville, but then the championship itself to get ahead of Phil. He had a game and a half lead over me. We tied. Mama, you missed it. Ryan and Phil tied during the season at one point. So he had a half game lead, half race lead. It was insane. Phil picked Ross Chastain. Our whole entire boards were the same. I had to go with Eric Jones, or I went with Eric Jones. I wanted to go with Eric Jones. He was my guy. I believed in the 43. And get this. Everyone in the chat last week, Eric Jones. I'll tell you why. Stage 1, Ross Chastain was P18, Jones P24. Hey, not too bad. A little 6 positions off there. I'm not even a math guy either. But in stage 2, Eric Jones finished in 10th and Ross Chastain P15. So not a math guy, but according to my calculations, a 1-point difference separated my draft lineup from Phil's heading into stage 3 with a chance to go on and battle for a championship at Phoenix. Ultimately, Jones has an issue. The issue was he spun out during Ross Chastain going and implementing their strategy while he was leading. Like, that was crazy. If anyone tuned into the show, they saw that it was our guys going head to head, and my guy spun out to give Phil's guy the lead and ultimately win him the draft. So not doing super well because of that. Really wanted a chance for the chip. But happy for my guy, Phil.
Ryan, hang on, Ryan. Can
Mamba,
we
yeah.
wait, real quick? Can I just explain to y'all that when the first time I met Tino, that is exactly what I saw. Like
yeah.
that energy, that is exactly what I saw. And I went to my boss and I'm like, we need this guy. Like, I don't know where to get it, where to put him, but him. We need that. Dude, I love everything. Thank you.
I think in the off season I'm going to work on clipping a lot of things out of our shows this year, and it'll be 75% Tino explosion. So it'll be good. Phil, ultimately you come down with the win. Congratulations. So how are you feeling? There's the teams from last week. Again, you guys went with the similar teams there. Phil comes out on top, 14 and a half wins this year. So congrats, Phil. I made this special one for you when we did the interviews mid-season. And then it's got your bottle of Buffalo Trace for the eye there for you as well.
There you
So
go.
you're looking good there.
Thank
Serious
you.
microphone.
Yeah, I appreciate that graphic. And yeah, man, I'll tell you this: the Chastain Jones thing. As soon as he took Jones, first of all, if you go back and you look at that replay of Tino, he was having like an internal crisis at that moment. The pick took maybe 5 minutes for him to get it out of his mouth, and as soon as he said Jones, I think the whole chat just blew up. Like, are you serious? Like, we couldn't tell if he was kidding. And then when Jones was winning the race or winning the matchup, I was like, there's no way I'm losing this because of Eric Jones. Like, this is terrible. So I knew if he had pulled that off, I was screwed going into this race in Phoenix. But I'm glad that it's over. And props to you guys. It was a hell of a year. I appreciate that graphic. It is, in fact, banner night here in the Philadelphia. So I'll just kind of go there, so you can see there. So yeah, I know we're gonna spend a little bit more time celebrating next week because we have a lot to get to in this episode. But just know that I've got a championship ring in the mail. Probably won't make it for next week, but it's in the mail. I've got my bottle of champagne here. I'm ready to crack. So we're ready to go. Happy that we got the win, and thrilled to be here tonight. Really happy that Mom is here to get our first guest on the show and have a good time. I mean, starting off this championship week, there's a lot to be pumped about. Even though NASCAR is going away for a little bit, let's end strong. So I think it's going to be a fun night.
Yeah. And you mentioned Philly. That's where you're from. And you donated to Hath's Heroes, where Flyers forward Garnet Hathaway hosts local responders, first responders to the games this year. So that's where Win the Race donated this week. That's our 35th different charity, and we'll hit 36 after this week. So 36 different charities this year. Pretty cool. Doesn't matter what you donate. If you go donate $1, who cares? It's better than the $0 you're donating now. So find a cause you like, go donate. And we'll hit our 36 one this week. It'll feel really good. All right. We got a lot to get to, like you said. Phil, I'm going to kick it to you real quick. We'll do the race preview, and then we're going to head right into the picks.
Sure thing. Headed to Phoenix Raceway, and they've been the host of the championship race since 2020. And this is the fourth next-gen race that we've had here. They come here 2 times a year. It's weird, though, because the race in the spring in the 2025 season is further away than the race that they'll be at, the spring race to the championship race. It's just a strange situation there. But it's a mile asphalt track, so it's a shorter flat track, 9 degree to 11 degree, banking in the turns. Restructured it with the start-finish line a little while back, so things are a little bit different now. But they have that dog leg that gives the drivers a chance to kind of fan out. Track stats here: 58 races in the history of the Cup Series. The winners start on the pole 8 times, and Logano was the last time to do it in 2022. 40% of the time, the winner starts in the top 5, 60% in the top 10. It's very important in the championship race to start inside the top 10. That is for sure. Winner started outside the top 20 only 4 times. Last time it happened was Ryan Newman. Now, I said on my show, I feel like that Newman win was like yesterday. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot believe it was 2017. And as far as manufacturer trends, next gen car, it's pretty even split. So there's not really much you can look to from a manufacturer standpoint to try to get an edge if you're, looking to gamble or try to understand who's going to win this race. 3 Chevy wins, 2 Fords, and 2 Toyotas in that. I think I might have mixed that up, but 3-2-2 is where we have it there. Race starts 3 p.m. Eastern. We've got 60 laps in stage 1. It's like a little appetizer, and then the real stuff starts 125 in stage 2, 127 in stage 3. Not much Goodyear notes other than we're thankful that the, gimmick with the option tire and the prime tires not here for the championship. They tried that out in the spring. So we can't really look back at that and get really an advantage from anyway, but they've used these tires a bunch this year. And last week at Martinsville, they used these right sides. So not much to really comment there on for the Goodyear notes there. So looking forward to it. This will be the last time they're in Phoenix for the end of the season. Who knows what the format's going to be next year, but they'll be at Homestead this time next year. So big deal for Phoenix Raceway, and looking forward to seeing who we come up with here for these rosters.
Awesome. Perfect breakdown. I think you covered everything there. What we'll do is just head right into the picks then. So we'll start out with 2311. If you're new to the show, you've missed, 35 fun weeks so far. So this is how we've done it every time. 2311, front row, Hendricks, Joe Gibbs, Penske. Big 3 is another pick from those 3. RFK, Spire. Best of the rest is anyone that's not listed on the left here. And then a wild card is a pick from any team that you haven't selected yet. We'll use real NASCAR points from the race to score it. The winner will pick a charity. Win the race will donate to it. Pretty simple rules. So, all right, who wants to kick this off? 2311. I know who I'm taking. Tino, haven't heard from you in a while. I'll go to you. We haven't heard from Mamba, so we'll go Tino, Mamba. then either Phil or I can take it. So Tino, lead us off tonight. Bring that energy to start the show.
Yes, sir. All right. So, well, one of the things too with Mamba on the show, got to talk about our chat. Got to bring up the chat. Chat's been going crazy all night. Appreciate the guys all season long, and they're back here. And one of the guys I got to pull up is from Mike Manning, who's saying, little comment from Mamba. Love Kevin Harvick's happy hour. Thank you to Mamba. Thank you, Kevin and Caitlin, for putting on a great show every week. May the sips live on all over the world. So it's a cool thing to not only have the chat who's been here throughout the season, but to have them be able to talk with Mamba here now tonight. So Mamba, that's what we got going on. Some chats pulling up. I'll get up some more for you too. We got some funny ones as well, like our man Big Ross. Asking how much will the France family offer an 11-team pit crew member to throw the race? Mama, please answer first, and you don't have to answer that one because
listen. If there's one thing everyone should know is I'm not scared to answer anything.
Yeah.
Look, man. That's funny, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think you're gonna need to because honestly, William Byron, bro. William Byron is on a heater, and even if it's not him, I think it'd be Briscoe anyway. So they're not gonna have to throw the race. They're gonna have plenty of competition.
Okay. Love it. And awesome. Then Mustard Rob saying he's loved the show all year. Briscoe will be the champ, just like Mamba's secondary pick there. So appreciate everyone in the chat. Keep the questions and comments coming along. See Brian Twining, Sam Hall, Sean McBride, our boy Zach from Team 54 as well, who's a Ty Gibbs fan and aficionado as he is. Don't ask. Definitely pick Ty Gibbs. So, all right, let's bring the draft board up, and I'm going to go with Bubba Wallace in this one for 2311. He's been strong at Phoenix before. I know Tyler Reddick was in this position last year for Championship 4. Ultimately didn't get it done, but I feel like a top 10 guy just consistently throughout the year has been that of Bubba. That's what I'm expecting out of him here this week, especially to close out the season strong, which has been statistically one of his best of his career, getting the win at the Brickyard as well. So riding the momentum, and I think they close out the year strong. I'll go with Bubba for the first pick of the draft.
Yeah, man,
that's perfect.
That's a good pick. Yeah.
Mamba, we'll head to you then. You go ahead. Pick 2311 here.
I'm going with the 35. No, I'm not going. Yeah, I thought you guys started to get no way. No, I love Riley. Much love to Riley, but I'm going with Bubba as well. Tyler, I think Tyler's group just haven't been. What's up, Easton? Appreciate you. I don't think Tyler. They just never really found it this year. To be honest, they never really had the overall speed that we thought they would after the great season they had last year. And honestly, Tyler and his family have been going through a lot with rookies. So shout out to them. The kid is a fighter. He's a little guy, but he's a fighter already. So always think about their family. But I'm gonna go Bubba. I think when the playoffs started, I think when we got through the first round, we were around a 12. I said the most dangerous driver and the most dangerous two is the 19 and the 23. And realistically, in my mind, the 23 still won Kansas. I can't get over that. And so I think if it would have worked out, I think he might be in this situation. So I'm going with Bubba Wallace. All
right, cool. I'll switch it up then here. I had Tyler Reddick written down today. I'll go with Reddick. Be a little different here than everyone. He does. So here's the thing. He has 4 top 10 finishes here in the Gen 7 races. What's crazy about his races here is there's 14 stages in those 7 races. He's earned stage points in 12 out of those 14 races. So he's always up there. But the problem is, like Mamba's saying, and I'm willing to take the risk here since, our contest is over. I can be a little risky now, not worry about it. So he does have 0 top 10s in this short track package this year. So he's been missing, but maybe he's due. 7 races, no top 10s, but he always runs up front at Phoenix. So give me Tyler Reddick, and hopefully he's due for a top 10 here. Phil, kicking it to you.
I'll say this. I know that we hit 2311 first because of the alphabetical order here, but to me, this is the toughest matchup to choose from the whole list here. From every team, I think this is the most difficult one to choose. I'm going to go with Reddick just to keep it even, I guess. My mentality here is I coin flip. Could have gone either way. I'll make the case for Reddick that even though he hasn't had top 10s in the short flats this year, His true performance rank on Win the Race is better. Adjusted speed rating is a little bit better. His numbers at Phoenix are better overall. And, we brought up the struggles this season. Saw in the chat, they commented he cut his hair. So that's one.
Yeah.
But two, I was dogging him last week about how poor he has been at Martinsville. And they came out like he stepped up and ran well, like top 10. I think he finished 11th. That is like above and beyond what he's done in the fall Martinsville race the last X amount of years. So I think we're still seeing a little bit of fight from Reddick right now. And, like I said, this is a coin toss. I'll just go with it, see if we can keep that momentum going here.
Okay.
All right, cool. So some of these teams you'll see, Mamba, are much easier to pick because now we're going to head to front row and things get a little harder here because these become, like a 3-sided coin flip here. It's tough, but I'm curious to see what you think. I'm curious to see what Tino and Phil think here. I'll lead this one off. This one was, to me, the hardest one to pick. I went with Zane Smith. Zane has, signed his contract extension or whatever. I think that might be a little weight off his shoulders. Just know he's got that security. He can go out there and run his own race. And in the truck series, he was incredible here back in the day. So it's not like he can't run Phoenix. 9th here in the fall. And I know that was, an option tire race and certain, drivers finished out of where they normally do. But in my pre-practice and qualifying scores on Win the Race, I have Zane Smith just ahead of these other two guys. So I got to go with Zane Smith here. Tino, I'll kick it to you.
Well, Big Ross doing me dirty here.
Unreal.
Are we sure gonna
Unreal
go?
comment.
Oh, wow.
This is dunked on his head, bro. This is dunked on
Big
his
Ross.
man.
It's still there. I'm trying. It's coming back. Yeah. So are we sure on the air is positive? Look what happened to Tino. Unreal comment. All right. So since we're talking front row, gotta shout out the boy, the Todd father, last weekend, bringing home a top 10. Not only great to see from him and all the Gleavers out there, all the Grillo's Pickles fans, best pickles in the game, but that's a plus 750 top 10 number. Talked about that, sent that out to the boys and the people in the chat. I think we talked about it during the show as well, I'm pretty sure. And he maintained the value all throughout the week. And that's what I'm looking at for this weekend in a similar sense with his teammate Zane Smith for me, plus 850 for a top 10 for him. Now, don't look at any Zane Smith prior to this year, but look at this year and he finished 9th. And that was a no sweat top 10 because I remember it was one of my earlier top 10, high value extravaganzas, and it hit. And I didn't even have to worry about it. And that's exactly what Todd Gilliland did last weekend in Martinsville. Obviously, different track, but when front row brings top 10 equipment, those boys capitalize on that. So I'm super excited to see what he can do. And Mamba, if you got any betting lines out there, any value plays for us, don't be afraid to shout them out too.
Time out, boys. Have you seen what's going on in the NBA? I am not getting involved with any betting, but you should go bet on DraftKings if you do. But other than that, I'm keeping my mouth shut. I like my job.
Beautiful.
Good to know.
Yeah. Is it my turn, Ryan?
Yeah. Go ahead.
First off, I do want to give a call to everybody at front row because they got 3 young guns, right? Like they all have a lot of laps in general, but like they're trying something that we don't really see very often, and they're really betting on a couple of guys. And I really appreciate that. It hasn't been a great year by no means, but there's been light at the end of the tunnel at random tracks, it seems like. And who called him the Todd Father? Tino, is that you? You called him the Todd Father?
Yeah. Me, the chat brought it up too.
Yeah, that's who I'm going with. I'm going with Todd Gilliland. I think he's been the strongest one of the 3. He had a good run at Martinsville. He's kind of on a little bit of momentum. I think he was 2nd at Talladega. Also, he was just next to me in that we were just doing that the NASCAR 25 Creator Series. So we're just doing that together. So I got to give my boy some love. Lock me in, Todd Gilliland.
Nice.
All right, awesome. Phil, what do you got?
I'm following Mama's lead here. We're going with Todd Gilliland. And one of the things that did me well this year was just kind of taking the pick that was more like down the middle. Todd has had 3 top 20s in a row at Phoenix. And I think that with these other guys like Zane and Noah, if you look at their Phoenix numbers, you look at their numbers from the season, like they might have like a flash in the pan top 10. out of nowhere. But I can't, I'm not interested in that. I'm looking, hey, give me a 17th place finish for Gilliland, and I think we win this matchup. So I'm going to go with Gilliland here and keep it going. I mean, I had him a few weeks in a row, and it's really panned out.
All right, perfect. Now we get into the goods. And Mamba, you had mentioned someone earlier. So do you want to lead Hendrick off here and let us know who you're picking?
Listen, on the Kevin Harvick Happy Hour podcast, way back in February, long ago, I said William Byron will be your 2025 NASCAR Cup Series champion. He was the regular season champ. He won that with a race to go. He didn't even have to show up to Daytona. He still won that. And then when all the chips were on the table, when he really had to get it done, they dominated Martinsville. Dominated. And I texted with my boy a little bit this week. I said, hey, man, this is your time, but they're not going to give it to you. You got to go take it. And he says, you already know. He's locked in. Give me William Byron for the Chizzy and for this Hendrick pick.
I love it. That's who I'm on to. I'll just jump in here and type it out. This one was easy for me if I could type it here. There we go. So William Byron, going to be my pick. So then we only had 6 races in this package this year, but he's won 2 of them. And only Blaney has a better true performance score and win the race. Only Blaney has a better average running position in those 6 races. And of the championship 4, and this is something that I'm looking at this week, Tino and I were talking about it a little bit before the show. We do 4-tire pit stop scores on win the race, and Byron is of the championship 4. He's only behind Larson in 4-tire stops of these guys. So I really like William Byron here to get it done. Also, too, his worst qualifying position in the Gen 7 Phoenix races is 8th. So this dude just comes fast, qualifies up front, and the way he's running, I don't think he's going to lose any spots. So I think we could see Byron up front all day. Phil, I'll kick it to you.
Make it 3, Willie B. And it's staggering when you lay out all, for me, I read a ton of notes down of all the different metrics. He is first of the championship 4 drivers in every single metric of the 4 of them. But a lot of the time, he's 1 or 2 just in general in NASCAR, whether it's Phoenix metrics, whether it's the short flats this year, however you want to slice it. He's better than everybody else. So I'm a big stat guy. I kind of migrate to that. And I think this is his to lose. I know this is a very exciting championship 4 because there's no Penske in it. It's kind of like anybody's game. I mean, we could debate all night. Like all 4 of us could have taken a driver and made our case, right? But I really believe that Willie B is going to get it done. On paper, he's the one that should.
All right, perfect. Tino, we making it a clean sweep here or what?
We can, and I'm okay with that. Because I think Larson will come up again. I'll say William Byron. I'll rank him. I'll pick him first out of these 2 Hendrick drivers. The thing that really sold me was the fact. So I got pros and cons for Willie B. First up, the pros. In terms of Ryan Blaney not being in the championship 4, and everyone doesn't want to see Penske, and I agree with that because he's that dog. But who's up next in terms of average finish at Phoenix in the next gen era? William Byron with an 8th place. He has a 6th in this last spring race, a 3rd, 18th, but that's the outlier with a 4th, 1st, 6th, and another 18th. My point is as well, this is now the cons factor because I know they dominated Martinsville. To me, I was a little surprised at their dominance, not by the fact that they're capable of that, but Mamba, I mean, they weren't really doing that all playoff long. That was Blaney, that was Denny, that was even Larson. Hey, I even go out as far to say Chase Elliott during these playoffs has just showed a little bit more speed. Now listen to this. Stage 1 at Phoenix in the spring, William Byron, who started first, which is huge. Let's keep in mind. We talked about the pit crew rankings. I was holding up my physical copy of Ryan's tweet from Win the Race and their rankings on the pit crews, which is an awesome job there. But my point is William B started first in the spring. That's what they're going to need to do here in the fall. But in stage 2, start first, finish first, stage 2, 3rd, stage 3, 6th. So to me, you can come with that stage 1, stage 2 speed, sure, but I need you to have that long run speed. I need you to be there at the end. He hasn't showed that to me yet at Phoenix. I think him being back in the championship 4, they'll make the adjustments to do so. But I mean, we've been here in this spot before, and he hasn't been there at the end. So that's the only thing I'm really sort of keeping an eye on for him in that 2014.
Yeah, different package, but he was there. What was it, Vegas, where he ran into the back of Ty Dillon? I mean, he was there, and the only reason Larson got by him was because he just like slipped up a
Yeah,
little
loose.
bit. But
Yeah, you got loose.
yeah, so
You could argue he turned it on in the round of 8 because he was there at Vegas, he
Mhm.
was there at Talladega, and then he dominated Martinsville. So like he's been coming back to life for a while, and we showed last week, and now I think it's the cherry on top.
Big
one,
Ross right
one,
here. Big Ross saying that I don't think I've heard anyone take Larson to win this week. Probably is like if I know Cliff Daniels very well, and that is probably the biggest bulletin board material that he's letting all
yeah,
like. Can you imagine,
Screenshotting the show,
bro? Can you imagine going into the 5 group as the leader and being like, "Hey boys, I just want to let you guys know that nobody thinks that you guys are gonna get it done." How the fire that would pull out of me, it's like, oh, really? Like, no one thinks that we can do this? Yeah, that's crazy.
but it's true though. Like, think about all storylines too. We got this big team coming up with some big storylines, but the Byron coming off the Martinsville win, Chase Briscoe and the new team. So yeah, well, I think with the 5 team being underrated going into the championship is going to be huge. I wonder how it's going to play out.
one last thing to button up William Byron. If there's ever a race at Martinsville where it's less than 65 degrees out and cloudy, he's winning that race. I mean, that's what he does.
We
I
said that
watched
last
it
week, right?
live.
Yep.
I was down there in 2022 in Martinsville. The 2 most dominant cars in that cold race at night was Chase Elliott, William Byron. Chase Elliott led the first half of the race. William Byron the second half won the race. Then he did it again. This weekend. I mean, dude's insane in that weather. I don't know what it is about that cold weather in Martinsville, but that brings out. We talked about it on the show last week. Like William Byron eats that up. I don't know why, but all right. I'll leave this one off. I'll go to JGR because I know I'm going to be different here. Because what I think is that you guys you're going to take Briscoe and Hamlin, obviously championship 4 drivers, right?
No.
And you can only take 2 of them because we got JGR and then you got big 3. Or I guess you could take 3. I'm going to go Christopher Bell. So I'm not going to go championship 4 drivers first. I'm going Christopher Bell, and the reason I'm going Christopher Bell here is just because he's playing better than those guys here. He's better than everyone but Blaney here, really. And he's better than Blaney here because he actually wins here, where Ryan Blaney can't. So it's like,
Hey, yo!
I'm sorry.
YRB, you're a hurt, bro.
All right, that was a bit harsh. I understand that, but he does come in second every year. It seems like every race. So Christopher Bell, multi-time winner here, has won 2 of the last 3. When he didn't win, he finished 5th, and he led 143 laps in that race. So he led freaking half the race, came in 5th. Only Byron, Logano, and Blaney have a better average finish in this package in 2025. So I don't know, man. I got to go Bell. I feel like it's one of those championship races where someone outside the championship 4 could win this race. And I think when we get to Penske, we'll talk about another guy or 2 that could do the same thing. So give me Christopher Bell here to be a little different. Again, our contest is over, so I can be a little risky. So Phil, I'm going to kick it to you.
Now. Hey, scared money don't make money, big dog.
Yeah,
there
we go.
Well, I'm going to go with the guy who, I rode to the victory this year many times, and we've got a championship future on him from the beginning of the season, 25-1. Chase Briscoe is my pick here for this team. Now, I said just a second ago, I'm a big stats guy, right? That's what led me to Byron. Briscoe doesn't really have the stats when we're looking at like Phoenix as a whole and the short flats this year. Like he's 4 of 4 pretty much of all the guys in the championship. But what I'm looking at is a driver who leads the Cup Series in average starting position with 7 poles. He's going to be in a good situation here coming into Phoenix. We saw what they did in the springtime, just shitting the bed, but he was learning this car. Now it's like revenge time, and it's the best possible time for it. He has learned so much in this JGR car. Now it's time to go prove it. He's won in the next gen car here, by the way. So not everybody in the championship 4 can say that. Byron, and I think he's the other one. So Briscoe, I just think, is the most consistent driver of the last 10 races or so. And I think this is his opportunity to kind of, come from behind, I guess. He's the longest odds to win, and I like that. So I'm going to go with Briscoe.
One stat I realized about Briscoe when I recorded with Eric Estep earlier today, our preview, which I think comes out tomorrow, but we're talking about Briscoe. And one thing I noticed, when Briscoe qualifies well, he runs well. Like, he's not a guy that like qualifies poorly and they figure it out during the race. He's got 15 top fives this year. And in 13 of those 15 top fives, he started sixth or better.
Yeah.
So he's got to come with a fast car, start up front. At least that's what all the data is telling us this year. So
That's
hopefully
the
he
true
can unload
definition.
fast.
True definition of team, right? If you got non-NASCAR friends, they're like, "What are you talking about? Like, why is it a team?" Like, that is the team when they unload fast. Great job in the shop. They unload fast. They qualify well. They practice well. They go out and like that team has it so well done this year. So that's a reason to cheer for them this week.
Phil, you're telling me this is a team sport?
It's a team sport. Yeah.
Oh yeah, watch your mouth.
Hey, we know motor here. We know motor here. I'm just saying.
I know you all did. That's why I'm here.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
no, that's funny because in the other part of it being a team sport, the pit crew, great pit crew for Chase Briscoe as well. They're in the top 2 tiers of our pit scores on win the race as well. Tino's got Tino, hold up that printout. I should have just pulled up the graphic. We're on computers. Tino prints it out. Look at
Hilarious.
I feel like I gotta
There
get
you go.
super close.
Yeah.
It hasn't been readable once, but it's so funny.
No, it hasn't. Now it is. That's the first time.
There you
Beautiful.
go. Look who's at the
All
top
right.
there. Is it backwards too for you guys?
No, it's right. No, it's
Oh,
right.
okay. I was gonna
All
say.
right, Tino, let's go to you, and then we'll let Mamba round out JGR here.
All right, sick. Well, all right, boys. Let's take a breather here. Let's take a second because I don't even know if I'm ready for what I'm about to say. And I'm gonna start with bringing up a comment, which is great. That always helps me buy some time. Hot Pass, he called us bums. You're the bum, buddy, for only tuning in for the end of the season here. So, but appreciate you doing so nonetheless. He said Chase Briscoe going to shock the world. Now, I'm not picking Chase Briscoe, but I wanted to come on here and comment back about that is I don't know if that'd be a shock to really anyone at this point because of how fast he's been in terms of finding speed out of that 19 car. Super impressive. And I think the coolest thing about them being in the championship 4 is most top 5s, some of the most top 10s all year. They deserve to be here. And then Mike Manning saying, look at old timer Tino using paper. Talking about old timers. Who's the oldest driver in this championship 4? It's Denny Hamlin. Now, I'm just going to be fully transparent with you guys. I always consider Denny to be the Dan Marino of NASCAR, the best driver to never win it all. And now we sit here. Denny's had 3 weeks to prepare, right? You know all the storylines about everything he's been talking about, all the other drama going on. I think I have to say Denny Hamlin is my pick to win the championship. I feel crazy saying it because, like I said, I never even thought he would be back in a position, at least where we're at right now in this championship 4, to have a chance. You got to win. You got to win in the round of 8 to make it to the championship 4. And in the next gen era, he wasn't doing that. And then here he is with an opportunity to do so. He was not good at Phoenix. Like in the start of this next gen era, he wasn't really there. At least he wasn't there. Sure, we can talk about Penske and how those guys are just a whole level above and everything like that. But in terms of having an opportunity to win a championship with speed on the racetrack, or at least finding it, it wasn't there to start. And each year he's kind of gotten better and better. And there is one, I think it was last year's spring race, where I noticed Denny was fast. And I was like, man, he was so fast, he spun himself out. And I was like, if he could get to the championship, he'd win it. Like we said, he didn't get there last year. That was a Penske year, Logano, Blaney. And now we're here. Now, hey, we'll talk about who's going to win the race next team. But I think for the championship, I'm going with Denny Hamlin.
All right, perfect. Mamba, who do you got?
What a great soliloquy that Tino just put together. Tino's old, so of course he knows Dan Marino.
Old timer.
I love that because I've been being told that this isn't stick and ball and that we can't make comparisons to other sports, but that's a great comparison because those are two greats, two Hall of Famers, two guys that when you think of winning, you think of those guys. The thing is, I think of Denny Hamlin like the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of glitz, a lot of glamour, a lot of flair, always in the media, winners. The Cowboys, no matter what, they always end up winning 11, 12 games a season. And we're always talking about them. We talk about the Cowboys more than any other team, no matter how good or how bad. And that's a beautiful thing, except the fact they don't win the title. Now, I'm with you. He has the opportunity to change all that and to move into the next echelon of driver. We're not talking about like Mount Rushmore, but he is now, way up there with 60 wins and a championship now. 3 Daytona 500s, like a couple Southern 500s, like some crown jewel stuff.
Yep.
But boys, I'm gonna tell you, the battle that he's gonna have from within his own building. This guy has been like Ryan Newman on qualifying day, old school, like 7-8 poles. He had the best average finish throughout the playoffs until basically this week, right? And no one cares because he was already through, but he was averaging like fifth place finish, like 5.6 until this week where they blew up. I don't even got to say it. Check out that dog right there, Chase Briscoe. He has won here before. I think Phil mentioned it. He has won here before, bro. Chase and that 19 group with James Small, they figured it out, and they are, without a question, the most dangerous team in the playoffs, and they let them in the Final Four. It's going to be a dogfight.
Awesome. Yeah, I love how we picked there. That's great. I just think this race is going to be great. And now we head to Penske too, and I think it brings another twist into things because we have, probably two guys that if they won this race, I don't think many people are that surprised. Maybe a little more surprised than usual because it is a championship race, but we saw Chastain go out and do it. So, I mean, it can happen.
We do have a good question in the chat before we move on to Penske. Lee asked, and I think this is a great point to bring up. So shout out Lee here. Lee Norton asked, what do y'all make of the 11 and the 19 blowing up last weekend at Martinsville? And Mamba, I'm going to shoot this one to you because this is your expertise, right? You're in the shops, or at least, you were working on championship cars yourself. So if this is what happens, what would you say in terms of how we should feel as fans looking out, an analyst about this 11 and 19 here?
Yeah, well, it's not a nothing thing for sure, right? It's something. What is it exactly? We don't know, and we won't know, right? But there was a point last year where the Toyotas were having an issue with blowing up as well. They seemed to get that fixed. They didn't have any problems this year. It seemed like the Fords kind of had some issues at the beginning of the year. Now, talking to Kevin Harvick on the show, it's like, when we were talking about it, it's like, were they trying something? Were they trying a different combination? Because, we're going to be shifting at Phoenix. We were shifting at Martinsville. So that's a makes sense, right? I can pull the correlation between the two. It's interesting that it was 3 right within like, what was it, boys? Like 45 laps, maybe?
Yeah.
Between the 19, 35 and the 11. So that's an interesting thing. That leads me to believe that they were maybe trying something different to see if they could find an advantage. So, whether it worked or didn't work and what they were trying, I don't know. But for the 11 group as a whole, they've had a problem with this. And it's been documented and talked about, whether it's, the throttle getting hung or debris in there. Like I'm a little nervous for them on the mechanical side of this thing. Like it's definitely not a nothing thing.
Feels like I could be dead wrong here, but just in my mind, it feels like the Toyotas, especially JGR, have brake issues a lot too, or a lot more than other teams. I don't know if I'm just making that up, but it feels like every time it's like, oh, it's another JGR car and their brakes aren't working right.
They definitely pick a different package, I think, than a lot of the other teams, whatever that may be. I think they go a little bit aggressive. And what happens is, for whatever reason, it's a cooling situation and how the pads are being used. So they end up like exploding rotors is really
Yeah.
what it has something to do with how they cool off, how they heat back up. And you guys know it at Phoenix, you're heavy braking into turn 3. So you're really going to heat those brakes up, and then you're in the gas so long, so they're cooling off quick. Well, that cooling and heating up and cooling and heating up, that's where stress fractures happen in the rotors. That's how they crack. That's how they blow up. And that's what we've seen with some of the Toyotas.
Yep. Christopher Bell here a couple years ago. Exactly what happened to him.
It's exactly what I was
Yeah.
just going to say. It makes me nervous
Team-
that they're having this happen, and then you look back in history and it shows it very well could happen again.
Zach from Team 54 is in here. I think it happened to Ty Gibbs too. I think he posted that on X earlier today.
Wait, is this Zach? Is this Zach from Twitter 54 updates?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
Bro,
Zach.
I love
Yeah.
this cat. Hey,
Yeah.
shout out to you, Zach, man. You've been, listen, straight up, that dude has been a grinder on Team 54 like the whole time, taking all the BS and like bringing facts to the matter. And I love when somebody commits to their driver or their team, whoever it is in any sport, and really looks at what it is for what it is. And we don't have that a whole lot because we talk about our sport very holistically from a very wide scope. So we don't have a lot of people locking into one team and just being able to be savants on one group. So Zach, no, shout out to you, man. I think that's super dope what you do.
Yeah, he's one of the like really cool people that we've met in this like little, like NASCAR community that's been created, not only from this show, but other shows like it and whatever else and everything you do, Mamba. It's like these are cool people that like hopefully we get to meet up at a race one day with Zach and kick it. And same thing with you, Mamba. It'd be a lot of fun.
Absolutely, bro.
So Mama changes his pick to Ty Gibbs now, right?
No. I don't like to lose. I don't like to lose.
Tino, you might be the only one that's picked Ty Gibbs this year. I honestly think so. Maybe early year we did on road courses, but I think like midway through the year, I think you were the only one still taking those swings.
I think I had two. I think on Harvick's podcast, because we do race picks too. I think I had 2 Ty Gibbs picks. I think Kevin picked Ty Gibbs once. Chicago, he was close. Surprisingly, the road courses, he was closer. Michigan, he was close, but he was really mad because he had to save fuel. I remember that. So hopefully Ty is a really good race car driver. And I think there's one thing that people don't take into account is all the other things that he has to deal with as, part of the family that owns the team. And he lost his dad at the racetrack. Honestly, I don't know how I would have reacted after that. Like, I think one of the only people that can understand that feeling is Dale Jr. And other than that, is really not a whole lot of people. So I think Ty is a little bit misunderstood, but he's a really good race car driver.
And he's young too, super young. We talk about how hard it is, or the drivers also talk about how hard it is to drive these next gen cars. You go from dominating Xfinity Series to then a Cup car. Not only are the differences major, but you kind of gotta, in my at least opinion, you have to sort of grow up to be able to And I'm not saying he has to grow up, but just getting older and getting more experience, getting more reps. I think that's all he needs. Like, a lot of people are hard on the kid, but he's just that right now. I mean, he's a kid becoming a professional race car driver, even more so than he already is. And, Zach's saying it too. He has tracks he's strong at: Bristol, Dega. And I will say, just for on the record, even more so, I said I am locked in on picking Ty Gibbs at Bristol in the spring race. Already screenshotted it with the boys, told Team 54, because of how strong he raced in the fall here, most recent Bristol race, and even in the spring, a couple other races that we've had. We've seen him just perform very well. And hey, it'll only be a matter of time before he continues to break out. But I think you got to give the guy, he's very young compared to his competitors in the field right now.
Well, he might have had SVG beat on that road too, and it was the terrible caution timing that came out that buried him. So without that caution coming out, he was pretty much the fastest car in the race, and he had the clean air out front. So who knows what would have happened? But Tino, speaking of the boys, are your Penske boys in on the last show here?
We all know who everyone's gonna pick, right?
Yeah, I think this one will be a quick one.
Right, like can we just breeze through? Like we all,
Tino has some close buddies that will not like the fact that we are breezing right through. So that's what he's hesitating.
Yeah,
okay.
They are hardcore Joey Logano fans.
Yeah.
Which you don't see that often in 2025, which is awesome because they brought in the chat And they're so okay. I have more context. They were new NASCAR fans getting into it more and more each week with this show and a bunch of other stuff. That I brought them to a race. They're New Hampshire guys too, Mom. But that's where.
Well, it's my people.
Yeah.
That makes sense because Joey's from Connecticut, so that makes sense.
Exactly. So that's what they're going with, the homegrown connection. Here he is, Sean McBride here. Big Joey Logs, guys. So because of that, we've hyped him up. We talked about him. I'm going Ryan Blaney.
Yes.
Listen, I will say, I'll tell you guys this quick story. So last year, championship, Joey gets it done. I had picked Ryan to be the first back-to-back champion that we've had in a long time. And obviously he was this far away from kind of making that happen. I get to victory lane to congratulate Joey and his team, and Brittany, his wife, is there. And Brittany looks at me, puts her finger in my chest, and says, "Don't you ever count out Joey Logano ever again." And so I will never count out Joey Logano ever again, ever. Joey's a 3-time champ. There are people that boo him every week on that stage, but there's always some diehard Joey Logano fans scream at their top of their lungs, and I love it. Joey's a dog, man. And Joey's only 35. He's been around for a long time and has a long ways to go.
Yeah, he's 35, and it feels like he's been racing for 35 years. It's
exactly
crazy.
Yeah.
And everyone's got to find someone that loves them like his wife loves him too. I know my wife would do that for me. So hopefully everyone can find someone that stands up for their man like that. That's good stuff.
Dude, she is his number one fan, and he also, if you ask him, he's like, yeah, she's way too hot for me. I have no idea how that happened. He'll tell you straight up. It's awesome.
That's so funny. All right, let's head into, that was an easy one. Penske. For those that don't know, if you're tuning in and you don't follow NASCAR too closely, Ryan Blaney owns Phoenix, top 5s in 7 straight until an engine failure this last spring. And even in that race, he was top 5 in both stages before that happened. Ford has no championship Ford driver. Their only goals here should be to go out and prove something, that they don't need to be in the championship to go out here and dominate everybody. Blaney would be the guy to do that. So let's move on to the big 3.
Do they only have a championship driver in trucks? Is it only Majeski? Because I don't think they have one in Xfinity, right?
No.
No, yeah, Xfinity's all Chevys too.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? It was only a couple years ago. I think it was 23 where Ford swept all 3. Yep. Last year they got 2 out of 3. Yeah, that feels right. They got 2 out of 3. So, it's tough for them Ford boys for this week. Tough for the Ford boys.
Yeah.
I also want to say we've only seen once in the last 10 years, I believe, with Ross Chastain coincidentally beating Ryan Blaney in this race. Although Blaney won the championship, Ross Chastain won this race. That was really kind of something when we talk about the championship race being at Phoenix, or even really in this, format playoffs and everything like that. That's what we've been seeing. I don't want to start doing too much, but
why did he say it like that? Why did he say it like that?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna say I'm a playoff guy too, but sometimes when I say that, people get a little mad, everything like that.
Hey man, can't be scared. Don't be scared, Tino. 10 toes down, baby.
So, but my point is I think Blaney wins this race. I think he's better than Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe. I mean, Chase Briscoe is very strong in terms of having that raw speed, starting up front. Byron as well. But I feel like Blaney wins this race, and whoever comes in second is getting that championship, especially with that having been done to him with Chastain and him having to sort of lay off and say, all right, I'm going to have the championship here. I just want to go out and say, I'm betting on Ryan Blaney to win this race, and I'm going to have to take a separate bet in terms of the championship drivers winning the championship.
Nice. So we'll jump to the big 3, and I can lead it off here because I got a lot of stats for this guy, and he was mentioned earlier. Mentioned earlier. I think you mentioned him, Tino, but we didn't pick him yet. But it's got to be Kyle Larson here for me. In the 6 races in this package this year, he's behind only Blaney, who we just talked about, and Byron, we talked about earlier, in true average running position in those races. He hasn't really had, it feels like he hasn't really had a winning car in a while. But he's got top 5 finishes in half of those 6 races this year. and it's been kind of a sneaky good run for him. He's got 3 top 5s in the 4 October races, and the only one he didn't finish top 5 was the one he could have won at Talladega, and he ran out of gas. So he's like quietly, sneakily top 5 every week. And then, like Mamba said earlier, give him that motivation this week where it's like your teammate is the favorite, in your own camp. Everyone thinks Byron's going to beat you. Light that fire under the 5's ass and let's see what they can do. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully we get, Larson's best here. So, Phil, let's kick it to you. Who do you got for the big 3?
Yeah, it's Kyle Larson, and it's crazy we've gone this long in the championship episode not talking about him, but for me, it's Larson. I thought Mama's point earlier about the motivation is one thing. He passes the eye test to me, and what I mean by that is, like, if he were to go out and absolutely dog walk the field, lead 300 laps of 312 laps, we would just be like, oh, like I was kind of hoping for a good race. If the other 3 guys were to do that, it'd be like, whoa, look at this. Like, he is that guy where if he does that any week, it's just like, oh, yep, he's got that ability in him. So I can't leave him off my roster. He's got to be on the team this week. And big 3 is just kind of where he fits in. So you laid the stats out pretty good there. I'm just going off of the eye test there.
Good point. Mamba, what do you say?
I'm gonna go Seabell. I think Seabell that guy has a chip on his shoulder. He's a dog. He's a wheelman. He is going to be a NASCAR champion in some type of format, whatever it is. I don't care. He just wheels, and this year it didn't work out. But I think he likes to remind people that he is the dude that you have to watch out for all the time. And if he's in a race, he's going to try to win. So he don't care what time of the season it is. So I think Seabell would be in there for a good big 3.
Yeah, I think same thing. Like, I'd normally be worried picking him when there's 2 other teammates in the championship race because, but even then, like, say he gives a spot up or something to secure one of them, that's all running top 5. Like, I don't see Christopher Bell not running up near the top 5 all race. So, great pick. Tino, what do you got here?
Yeah, I'm Kyle Larson as well, so not too much to add from that standpoint. Although I'm going to tell you guys how I expect this race to go, and I may be wrong. Sure, I can say that. There's a chance, but I believe this is setting up for a Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin championship showdown. And no hate to Byron or Briscoe, but at least if that's what I'm thinking there, at least one of the remaining 2 may have an issue. That's normally what we've seen. It could be on pit road, could be a break thing, whatever the case is. That's just how it's gone down. I feel like at least in these past few playoff championship races, when it's the final 4 going for it, there's one outlier that just doesn't have a strong day. So let's say that happens to Chase Briscoe. Then you have William Byron, and I think those 2, in terms of Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson, have just separated themselves at least a lot of times this season from Willie B from that standpoint. And when it gets down to Denny versus Larson, for whatever reason, Denny has the record. I believe it's 7-1 in terms of 1 and 2 first and second place finishes. So yeah, I think that's how it's going to be. And I'm excited to watch that because you can't have a bigger stage than that, than what people like to call Kyle Larson as one of the world's best all-around drivers, right? I believe that. And Denny Hamlin going out for his first championship is going to be pretty exciting if that is the case.
Do you guys think it, like, so last year for the championship, Blaney and Logano raced very clean, like almost probably to Ryan's detriment on how clean he raced them. Mm-hmm. Do you think if the 11 like lays the bumper on whoever, do you think that taints how people view if it's to win the championship? Do you think that's going to affect people's view? I only asked that because you brought up the 11 versus the 5, and like we know that he's not afraid to lay the bumper to the 5. Denny will.
Yeah, they've like ran each other. They've ran each other up the track as well.
Zach, for those audio listeners, Zach from Team 54 said Denny will wreck a MF. Ask me how I know, and well,
I agree. They do have that history, which makes it very interesting. Like, they've ran each other up the track, other places too, into the wall, and I don't know. Like personally, I love it. I love those two racing each other hard like that. And you know, Byron did it last week to Blaney. I mean, he had to be aggressive. You had to get into his door in order to move him up the track and go by. He was faster. And it was just the only way to do it on that track. There might be other lanes here at Phoenix where you don't need to do that, but I mean, come on. Hamlin has a chance. It gets to the end of the race and he can win a championship finally. How's he not do it?
He's gonna upset a lot of people if that were to happen in the moment, right? But zoom out, this guy's how many shots does this guy have left? Every single person in the world would do that if you're 40 plus, end of your career with a 2 turns left. You're gonna take that shot. You're gonna move them, and I don't care what the fans would say in the moment. Like 2 years later, everyone's gonna remember like he got that championship. So yeah, I don't think anybody would fault him when they
Listen,
zoom out.
man, I'm here for it. I just here to ask the question.
Yep.
No, I like it. I like what Big Ross said best because he just said, if you like Denny, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And that's kind of how a lot of things are, like NASCAR topic wise. It's like, do you like overtime? Like people that like overtime love overtime. People that don't like overtime hate it and want it gone. So it's like, that's just how a lot of these topics are. But again, it's a sport. Like people are gonna you dislike Patrick Mahomes or love Patrick Mahomes or I don't even know. Like it's much different depending on what side of the fence you're on, I guess is all I can say.
Since we're talking about Denny in that standpoint too, I very much respect that he starts off the year, right? 11 against the world, getting the boos, right? And everyone's rooting, not probably against him. He's got his fan base, obviously, but he's like, no one really wants to see that guy succeed or be calling out their favorite driver or their fan base. And then now that we're in the championship with him there, I feel like a lot of those people, at least half of them, he's gotten them to join his side, like to become and say, oh, I don't know. I'm rooting for Denny Hamlin now because I hear everything he has to say, and he's outspoken about this, and he's talking about that. I think that's pretty impressive. You're shaking your head, Mamba. I think no. Well, because you're on the stage too. You're hearing the boos. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I think you're. I think that moment at Vegas was amazing, and it humanized him. And I'm glad he had it, and I'm glad he got 60 for his dad. I know that meant a lot to him, and I think everyone understood the moment. But I promise you, this weekend, he will be exactly the same guy that you thought that he has been this entire time. And here's the other thing about that. It's like he's been kind of like, winning the championship doesn't really mean anything to me. If you're crying when you win the championship, then you got to tell me one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have it both ways. Like, either it mattered or it doesn't.
Well, speaking of that race, too, I mean, that's what he did to Bubba. So it's like, that's how he's going for the championship. What he did to his own car that he owns to get there, I think he's going to do it to anyone he has to this week by any means necessary. So I'm excited for this race. I'm pumped.
So always root for my wallet.
Big all right, with the good value play here, always rooting for his wallet. And then another good comment I wanted to mention was Brian Twining saying, for us above or at least very near 40, Denny moving someone for a win is a win for the old guys everywhere. So you got some old guys in the mix now too.
I was kind of talking about like wrecking them more than moving them, but yeah.
Yeah. If he wrecks them,
it turned into that. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, all right, cool. All right, let's jump to another Ford team here, RFK. These next two teams, I think we can be pretty quick with here for Phoenix. Phil, I'm going to let you lead this one off. Why don't you pick RFK first here?
Yeah, I'm anxious for this one. This is a driver with 5 top 10s and 7 next-gen races, 4th in average finish at Phoenix. Give me Chris Buescher in this roster. Give me Chris Buescher plus 180 for a top 10. Chris Buescher, to me, is just head and shoulders above his teammates at this track.
All right, perfect. Bamba, I'll jump to you.
I mean, Chris Buescher is the right answer. I mean, I love Ryan Preece. I love Brad too, to be honest. Ryan's had a really good year. He's done better than I think almost anyone would expect them to on a first year, third car in the team. And done a great job, but Chris Buescher has had more speed overall at that place.
All right, I am going with Ryan Preece here, and mainly because things have gone better for me when I pick Ryan Preece in these drafts. I've tried Brad a lot this year, has not worked out in my
Well,
favor
that's your
at all.
problem.
Yeah, I know, and so, but I'll go Ryan. He's got a sweet first name. I love him on the shorter tracks. So we'll just go with Ryan Preece here. Keep it simple. Every time I pick him, my draft score ends up better than if I don't. So I'm going Ryan Preece.
He spells his
And
first name different though.
what?
He spells his first name differently than you.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, just checking, just seeing if you were gonna question him.
What the hell are you talking about?
You think he's like, wait, what?
Wait, it's Brian Preece.
Brian Breeze.
Yeah. All right. I do have one thing I'd like to say about Buescher though, and I know he had a good finish here in the spring, but if you look at the 6 races in this package this year, he has not been good at all. He's ran 5% of his total laps inside the top 10 in those races. That puts him between JHN and Zane Smith. So it's not been good for Buescher. He had that good finish at Phoenix, but that doesn't mean he was running up there all day. I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm a little hesitant on Buescher, but I do understand he does always find the finishes here. He's like that dude that he's just there at the end. So I don't know. I like that. But I like that about Priest too, because he always tends to he's running top 10. You're like, where the hell did he come from? So, all right, Tino, who do you got?
I'm going to be a Ryan Preece guy myself. He's done great things for me this year. Top 10 plays or just having him in the draft lineup at optimal times. Maybe, I guess, not the same times as you, Ryan, or at the same times. And that's what's been even better about it. To me, also, I remember Vegas. Vegas was an awesome race. I was there in person. Got an opportunity to be there with SiriusXM talking after the race. Was in the mix with Ryan Preece, and Preece said he didn't expect to be strong there, and the fact that they had top 10 car and was in the mix for the potential win there at the end was big. Now, obviously, different track type and stuff like that, but just the fact that they started that season on that sort of high note, I expect them to finish strong with the top 10. I feel like this is if we're looking at most improved drivers, I mentioned it. My top 3 in that category, Ryan Preece is one. I also like Ryan Blaney with how he's gotten better at the road courses, and Bubba Wallace too this year. So Ryan Preece, to me, one of the most improved drivers this season, and I'd like to see him get a top 10 here. And good to be a little bit different in the draft too.
Yeah, I think it's been an awesome season. You add that third car. I think Preece has been great. All right, let's jump to Spire. Chevy team here. Haley's leaving. He's going to go race the Ram trucks. So that's kind of cool for the truck series.
Yes.
Yeah. Full-time Ram truck driver next year.
Was that announced? Was that announced today?
So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
I've been working, so I didn't see that.
No, that's really, that was announced. There was a lot of news today, actually, a lot of that lawsuit stuff too. So you go on later, there's going to be a lot of stuff to read.
I don't read very well.
I'll go first here. This is my last chance to pick Carson Hocevar one more time. So I fully expect him to run up front until he's not any longer. But that's okay because it doesn't matter if I win this week now. So give me Carson Hocevar. He does have top 20s in his first 3 races here in the Cup Series, and then earlier this year qualifies 3rd, finishes stage 1 and 7th. Wrecks out of the race, doesn't finish. That's kind of what has happened a lot this year. But I do think he'll be the fastest. Haley, with the news today, stuff like that, I don't know where that team's head will be at. And McDowell, I think might be a little sneaky here, but give me Carson Hocevar. Phil, I'll jump to you.
I'll take McDowell just because every time you take Hocevar and I take McDowell, it works out for me. So I'll say McDowell. No stats to back it up. I just want to use my time to talk about how pumped I am that Justin Haley is doing that. It's such an ego check, right? A lot of these guys wouldn't want to do that, but as a huge fan of the truck series, it's so cool to get someone at that caliber to come down. He's going to be with Daniel Dye, who ran really well in the trucks last year, teaming up for Ram. It's such a cool thing to see. John Hunter Nemechek did the same thing, got bumped out of Cup, went all the way back down, and now, he's working his way back up, doing well this year for Legacy. So I love seeing that. Props to a guy like that to take that ego hit, and good luck to him next year. So I'm looking forward to Haley in the trucks.
Perfect. Tino, who do you got here?
The hurricane was in full effect last weekend. I think he rights the ship around this time. Top 10 would be nice. Can't go that far, but I'll give him a top 15. Carson Hocevar this weekend. And that stage 1 speed he had in the spring, it was 7th. And I think that was a really eye-opening experience for a lot of people to say, hey, this kid's got speed. He's using it well. Obviously wasn't able to finish the race then, but I would like to see him put out a clean performance in this one, please, because if he can do so, the speed will be there to, race with the big dogs up front.
Perfect. I really wanted him to win a race this year. I really wanted to see it happen.
Same.
So, all right, Mamba, who do you got?
Hometown guy, give me Michael McDowell. Because it's his hometown. And he's been fast pretty much everywhere this year, to be honest. Probably a little underrated because they haven't finished very well, but he's been fast everywhere.
Yeah, we talk about how much we like Hendricks here. This is an HMS engine team, and they showed speed in the spring. So I do think they can show up fast. For whatever reason, it doesn't seem like Haley all the time gets that speed that McDowell or Hocevar does in qualifying and stuff. But yeah, all right, that's enough time on that team. We'll go best of the rest here. Best of the rest. I mean, I can leave this one off too. My pick was pretty easy. I wanted a Penske Alliance team. I'll go with Josh Berry here. Same type thought process as I had with Ryan Blaney. Not that he's Ryan Blaney here, but this Ford camp obviously shows up fast to Phoenix all the time between Blaney and Logano, even Cindric with an okay run. It's like, why not Berry? And then you look at the spring race, Berry exceptionally strong here. It wasn't weird he was in the playoffs. That seems like years ago. He was in this playoffs. Like, that just seems like forever ago to me. Top 10 at Martinsville, 2nd at New Hampshire, 8th at Richmond. So he's kind of on fire in this package. And then, like I said, Phoenix started 4th, finished 4th, never left the top 10 in either stage. So give me Josh Berry here. Also top 10 true performance scores in this package on Win the Race. So shout out to us. And Tino, I'm going to kick it to you.
I love the shout out to us. And as you should, because Win the Race is dominating as they have been all year round. And to me, the guy in the best of rest, it won't be Eric Jones this week. It's going to be Ross Chastain. Feels good to say that. Obviously, not only last week's performance, outlasted me and, getting Phil the victory in terms of the overall draft for this season-long weekly standings. But Ross Chastain's that guy at this track as well, 3rd in terms of average finish in the next gen era. It's got, the last 2 haven't been too clean, 11th and a 19th, but before that, a 6th, a 3rd, 24th, 3rd, and a 2nd. So I expect him to be there inside the top 10 all day long for Chastain.
Perfect. Mamba, who you got here?
I don't know how you guys feel about this. It might be a surprise. But give me the guy from New Zealand, SVG.
Oh, beautiful.
Give me SVG. Look, they have figured something out. He has been on a run.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not a top 5 run. It's like top 10, like 9th to like 15th. And like, okay, it's 9th to 15th, but it's 9th to 15th, like in the Cup Series. Like about 4 months ago, everyone would have been like, what are you talking about? If you watch it though, his progression in practice and qualifying has been leaps and bounds. Leaps and bounds. And it showed in the last probably the last 4 or 5 weeks, when the race gets to the end, you look up, you're like, holy shit. SVG finished 12th? What the hell? Like, bro, he's figuring this thing out. Maybe by this time next year, he'll make a round or 2 in the playoffs. It'd be hard to make 2, maybe 1 though, because we know he's going to win like 3 or 4 road courses. So if he can make some rounds, and bro, I'm telling you, he's starting to figure it out. So yeah.
Yeah, what was really cool, and I think I mentioned this last week too, when he was talking about running the wall at Las Vegas and the air pockets and all that stuff, like he's learning so much. And like we're like watching a kid like learn how to ride a bike. He's just like he's learning all the ins and outs, and he was ripping top at Las Vegas, and you're like, who is this guy? Like, this is not the same guy from earlier in the year. Someone on X I saw today, I'll try to repost it later tonight, put a chart out, and it was the start of the season to the end of the season, and it had his qualifying position and his finishing position, and you just see it get better and better as the year goes on. It was only on ovals is what the chart was, and it just went better and better and better. So
it's probably
yeah.
up 20 spots. I bet it's his qualifying is up 20 spots, and I bet his finishing spot is up like 15, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been awesome to see. So that'll be cool too when we get Connor Zilic up next year too. It's gonna be a lot of fun with that team. So, Phil, why don't you round out best of the rest here?
Well, I mean, I gotta say, I was surprised at the SVG pick, but looking at it, I mean, Mom was exactly right. 14th, Martinsville, 11th at Talladega. Vegas, he was running really well. Top 10, 15 before he got crashed out. 10th at Kansas. So those are best of the rest numbers.
Let's go, Phil. Let's go, dog.
All that to say, I'm going back to Ross Chastain for my pick. But, Chastain, give me somebody at Phoenix in the championship who I know will not roll over for anybody at any point in time, including the race win, as we saw in 2023, as Tino talked about earlier. Ross is a top 10 frisky bet for me this week. I understand like this year, what has he got? 1 top 10 in this package, 2 11th place finishes. But what we saw last week from Ross was awesome. And I think similar to the Byron conversation, like just momentum, knowing that he doesn't roll over, give me Ross Chastain. And I think he's going to be competing for a top 10.
Perfect.
I was going to pick him too until I saw Tino do it. And I'm like, I'll do something different.
I like that.
Yeah, no, nice.
I
love
like
that
the SVG pick was great. We haven't seen that in a while.
Like you said, though, the scared money doesn't make money. And if you watch back like the last month or two, we're not picking SVG in this best of rest. And a lot of guys we are picking, he's beating every week.
Mm-hmm.
So
if you bet him, I'm sure for top 10, it's probably a great bet because they probably haven't caught on yet.
I can tell you right now what it is. I'm still scrolling. 10 to 1 on MGM. Holy cow.
That's what I mean. It's the last week of the year. It's worth throwing some fun stuff out.
Can't hold anything back. What movie is that?
Because here's the thing. If he does it, like Mama said, it could be the last chance. If he does it, we're going to get to Phoenix in the spring, and it's just going to be wiped out completely. It'll be
you know how I was joking about the NBA thing earlier? I was just thinking about it just now. It's like there's nothing insider about us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like if I know that that a pit crew guy isn't going over the wall, so do y'all. Like you can't it's not like you know what I mean? And we're not at a place right now, not yet. Hopefully we do at some point where like things are moving like that fast to where like just someone's sick and then Vegas is like, we should probably back to we're not there yet. So like shit.
And we've had there's been multiple sports books that have they don't overturn bets, but they void bets. So if you don't pass inspection, post-race inspection, you don't win either. So like that's another kind of foolproof thing there where you can't get by it.
Yeah, which that's a fair thing. I'm glad they do that.
I like the transparency factor too, like Mamba just mentioned, in terms of like all of us seeing everything at the same time, just like all of us have seen Denny's different paint scheme for this week, where they have now white over the part that goes through, like you said, tech there. So if they are trying to cheat, everyone knows they're trying to cheat. And you can definitely tell because the paint scheme literally looks different in a way that is going to pass them through the inspection there. So, I mean, that may also factor into my Denny Hamlin championship pick. But some comments I wanted to bring up. Big Ross, a perfect point here, saying next year Trackhouse got to be back in the draft as a team. If you guys have been following along from the start, Trackhouse was in there, and we took him out, and then we kept picking Ross, and then they got put to best of rest, and then now SVG has brought them back. That's credit to SVG himself. And Connor Zilic, like you said, Ryan will be back as well, or be with that team next year. So Big Ross, I think you confirmed it. That will, if we swap them out, I could potentially see, I'm not saying any 2026 draft rules yet, but if we see maybe Spire go out, Trackhouse go in, let us know in the comments like what you guys are thinking. But I definitely think Trackhouse will be back in the full lineup. And then Miami Mike in the chat said, I was ripping top at Las Vegas too, but I wasn't at the track. Okay, so I think we should move on to the wild card round now.
With that being said, Tino, why don't you lead off the wild card round then?
Okay, yeah. So this is always my favorite time in the show. Just go all out. This is the final. Wow, man, I might get a little sentimental. It's the final draft pick of the year of our entire program. And
36 drafts. 36 drafts.
36
Incredible.
drafts. We've worked so hard all year long. You know, we had some sneaky plays, some loud moments, some crazy Tino freakouts. Last week was the first ever quiet final pick. But this time, you know, I look at my board. I see William Byron. I see Kyle Larson. I see Denny Hamlin. But I'm missing one guy. And that's Chase Briscoe for the championship 4. I don't know if he's going to win it, but I got to have my dog in there. He's been in the sim. You see Brooks Briscoe on it, racing in the NASCAR championship, NASCAR 25 Phoenix Raceway, and they're locked in and they're going strong and he's getting extra sim time. And I think he has a shot at it this weekend. Chase Briscoe, put it down, wild card. I'm getting wild, the final pick of the year. Let's go.
Oh, Tino's face is red. What's up, Mamba?
I just noticed that you have all 4 Champ 4 guys in here. I just want to make sure Briscoe's your pick.
No, so Briscoe's my pick.
Oh, Briscoe's not your pick.
So, well, Briscoe's my pick now, like right now. But to win it all, I feel like maybe it could be Denny.
No. I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire. I know you got them gold shoes on, boy. You better see. I know you got them gold shoes on. Who's your champ pick?
All right.
I'm
glad we're talking championship because now I'm locked in. And for 2025 NASCAR championship, it's going to be Denny Hamlin.
I love it.
I'm so sorry.
It.
I didn't know that was coming.
This is every week, whether you're here or not. So we don't have a choice.
I feel like I instigated that, and I'm sorry.
No, we don't have a choice. This is what he does.
I'm so sorry.
But with that being said, I mean, this was my pick all day. It's Denny Hamlin winning the championship, and this is that's a pick from my heart. It's who I want to see win this. I don't have the same statistical stuff I could talk about with Larson or Byron with Briscoe or Hamlin. And I left Briscoe off my board, which does feel terrible here, but I do love Christopher Bell here, and I want Denny Hamlin to win this. So again, with nothing on the line here, other than, you know, just us having fun and donating to something cool next week, I'm going with Denny Hamlin. So I hope he gets it done. Phil, I'll let you go, and then Mamba, our first guest drafter ever, can finish this thing out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also with you. We could, you know, looking at my board, I could go with Chris Bell, I could go with Joey Logano. Shout out the New Hampshire boys, but it's going to be Denny. It's got to be Denny. I got to have all 4 of them in here just to get my points, and I don't have any skin in the game from like a betting angle yet with Denny. I need something because he is going to be a great story if it does come to fruition. So I'm part of me cheering for him. I want to see a guy like that get it done. So it's only right to include him in the draft as my final pick of the year. But, you know, I know Tino teed that up perfectly. You know, if that's his championship pick, I got to make sure I have him in here. My pick, though, William Byron to win the 2025 championship on Sunday.
Yeah. That's like Hamlin's my heart play. If I'm going with a pick, it's going to be Willie B. Mamba, who do you got here to round things out for the wild card pick?
I guess I misunderstood what wild card meant. I thought wild card in my mind was like dark horse. I didn't realize we were just picking off the fruitful tree. I thought we were, you know.
Oh no, it's anyone from any team you haven't drafted yet.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna go with another hometown guy in my mind. And when I thought wild card, I thought dark horse. I was gonna go AJ Allmendinger, and I almost went AJ.
Oh, nice.
For the rest, just because AJ underrated, does really well. He usually gets wrecked. He usually is running like 15th and will get wrecked out. But give me the kid from Tucson, Arizona, Alex the Showman Bowman.
Wow.
Nice.
He almost won here. No, it was a while ago, but every time, you know, we come to Phoenix, it means a lot to him. he's an underrated race car driver. He's an underrated human being. And I just, I want to see good things for my boy. And he's one of those guys that every year seems like we get to this time of the year, they're like, should he be in the 48? Should he not be? And all I have to ask you is, who's better? And nobody can know this. There, if you look at Xfinity and truck, there's no one better. Like if you told me Corey Heim, I'd be like, okay, I could see you doing that. But I wouldn't even put. I know this sounds dumb, but I wouldn't even put Zilich in it over him right now. Like I think Zilich in a year or two, yeah, but like Zilich hasn't had as many races in the Cup car as, and I haven't seen him perform as well. Freaking Corey Heim last year in the 43 at Dover, running 20th. I was like, no.
Yeah.
No. He's ready. But Alex Bowman, let's go.
Yeah, Himes had some good runs with 2311 too. Like he's been strong. So
nah, it's different. He did miss that race in Chicago. That was tough.
Yeah.
That was a tough one, but
he also, I think he in a Sam Hunt car in Xfinity too. He came up and ran there, and he was running like legit top 10 in a car that never just runs top 10. So Himes got it, man. It's weird he doesn't have a ride.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of politics, I think, going on that one. But I will say, you brought up Sam Hunt Racing. I'm so excited for Sam Hunt to pick up Harrison Burton because it's been a long time since Sam's team has had a vet of sorts. Like I think Dean Thompson is fine. I think he's okay, but he doesn't have he doesn't have a ton of laps still. Harrison has legitimately won at every single level he's been at. He can make that team better. And I think that in 2026, Harrison Burton gets Sam Hunt their first win that they've deserved and should have had a long time ago.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that team. I think that team, I've read something too where they might go 3 cars. I don't know about permanently, but I don't know. I don't know if there's any legitimacy to that at all. But
be surprised. Don't be surprised if you see a Corey Heim show up in a 3rd car, if you see a Bubba Wallace drive the 3rd car, if you see a Riley Herbst drive the 3rd car, don't be surprised if all of a sudden, like halfway through the year, there's a 3rd car that has seemingly randomly a lot of 2311 guys connected to it and or legacy guys connected to it. Because this is why I say this. I don't think right now, obviously, for whatever reason, the business model isn't great for cup teams to have to be super involved in Xfinity and truck, like whatever reason that is. I wish it would change. I don't know what that needs to change, but it's just not it right now. So for them to have a place to put guys and remind people that they're winners, that's when we talk about star power, I think that's a big thing. One, we want to go see our guys win. I remember growing up as a kid, take a Jeff Burton. Like Jeff Burton won a lot of races, but he almost always won on Saturday. So then on Sunday, you're like, well, if my guy doesn't win on Sunday, I saw him win on Saturday. There is something to that because winning for us is winning. And it also makes the lower guys better because they're racing against better competition. So keep an eye out for that. I don't know any insider information. This is just me watching and reading tea leaves.
Awesome.
Love it. Good motor knowledge.
Yeah.
Hey, I think we got some other comments in the chat too, and it's a great time to highlight them and to bring, shout out everyone all season long. Great questions, great comments. If you have any more for Mamba specifically, now's the time to get them in. I have a few that I've pulled up that we could be continuing to expand on his motor knowledge. First up, since it's fresh off the dome, Easton asks, what are your guys' champion pick for all 3 series? Mamba, you lead us off. We'll go all around and say each 3 series who we're thinking.
It's not even hard. Corey Heim, Connor Zilich, William Byron. Okay. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. I want Hamlin, but if I got to pick, I got to pick Byron.
I would agree with that. I mean, I want this other guy, but if I'm going to pick,
and there's my heart, and there's what I would actually, put money on, I guess. So there's that.
Phil, what are you thinking?
I mean, got to go Heim, got to go Byron. In Xfinity, I'm not as well versed. I'm cheering for Quapple. That's who I'm cheering for. So I want to see Quapple do well. I know Zilich. Go ahead.
Does it bother if he wins it without winning the race? Does that bother you or no?
I think it would be quite the storyline. So it would a little bit, but
Okay.
I think it's good to kind of bring those things to fruition. But yeah, I think I'm always a fan of, what happened in 23 with Chastain was cool and all, but like I want my winner to win the race. I don't want to see two celebrations. So I would like Quapple to get it done and win. I'm just cheering for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just more of a fan.
Okay. I'd go, well, to me, I've heard some really smart guys say this a bunch on air, and that's if you're good and you're the best and you're going to be the champion, you're going to perform when it matters most in the championship. And that's why Corey Heim, Connor Zilich, and that'd be pretty interesting if this guy wins it, Denny Hamlin, do all three things like that. I think we can see it. And there's no, like, statistically, when we look at the championship four in terms of the Cup Series guys, those are the guys that should be there based on their stats. And those were the guys in the round of 8 that deserve to be there too. So now I'm getting kind of fired up talking about it because these are what we should be seeing if we're talking playoffs, we're talking NASCAR. Moving forward now, though,
If Denny does it, he did it in 35 races.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's something that I haven't thought about once. So that's pretty actually.
That's why you can't go back to the 36 full season, John, because if you miss a race, you're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Listen,
I'm not trying to get anybody into trouble here. No, we're not getting into any trouble.
I just saying.
We're not getting into any trouble.
Well, honestly, I just went through a question from our boy Easton, but he had another good one, and I didn't know if I was going to press the button to show it or not. Here we go. Mamba, what's your thoughts on a potential format change?
I love it. Dude, no, all right.
This is a good platform. Yeah.
No, seriously, because this has been a serious topic. I know you guys have seen it on my socials probably almost all year. And I think this is a great time for me to explain, probably for the first time, my thought. Okay.
Go ahead.
First of all, when I said championships are about the best team, not the best driver, it's because this is, as you guys put it, a team sport. You need all the things to make it happen. If it was about the best driver, we should be IROC racing, because that means every car is built by the same people with the same parts, loads up the same, and then we're just, here you go, here's your car, and you kind of do a little bit of tweaks. That's not what we do. Every car comes from different people all the time. Like Rudy, the way Rudy sets up a car is different than how Cliff Daniels sets up a car. And they're at the same shop. That's not what we do. So, getting that out of the way, that's what fired this whole thing up.
Mm-hmm.
If for a format, I suggested taking, let's say I have 3, really. Take the one race, put it at the beginning. It's almost like a wild card. So everyone in the top 16 in points is right there. And then everybody who won a race. So if we have 20 guys, cool. They're just trying to get through this one race to the round of 12. So then it starts at 12, right? They go 12. Yeah. So it starts at 12, then round of 8, and then your last 4 would be a 3-race shootout. I'm cool with that because I think that'd be fun. I think because the reason why I think the postseason is important is a couple things. One, for the business of the middle of the road teams. If you're running 25th and you need more money to get your stuff better, but you can't get any more ROI and you can't get any more money, then you're not going to get your stuff better, right? The good teams are always going to be good. If you look at who's won a championship since Dale Sr., outside of Dale Sr., it's been Hendrick, Stewart Haas, Penske, JGR, and an outlier, Furniture Row.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Well, the thing that all those teams have in common is they were the A1 team for each manufacturer. So at this point, if you're not an A1 team with a manufacturer, it's almost impossible. But with a playoff postseason situation, you can get in somewhere. With 36 straight, there ain't no way you're going to be able to keep up with those guys. So that's one of them. I wouldn't mind a 32-4, 32 straight and 4. If they left it, I wouldn't mind. But if they change it to where if you win the regular season, you go I don't care if you go all the way to the final, but put them to the 8. Everyone's like, well, that's unfair because they'll just ride around. You can't just ride around and then turn this thing on like a faucet. Like you got to stay locked in, and staying locked in, trying to motivate yourself when you're already through is a whole different animal. So I'd be cool with that too. And then I would also be cool with a 3-3-4.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also be cool with
3-3-4 would be sweet. I think if you're gonna do win and in, I think you have to do away with drafting tracks. Just because I think there's potential of someone like a Harrison Burton who's in the playoffs who has to me it's kind of a wasted playoff spot. Somebody has been better all year that deserves that spot over someone who just got by everyone when they wrecked out at a drafting track. I just don't agree with that.
Do you guys think that whoever is 16th, 15th, 14th, and 13th are gonna make it through the next round anyway?
I think they have a better shot than somebody who's 30th in points.
But would you ever bet on them?
To make it through?
Yeah, no, you wouldn't. You're right. So
here's the other thing too. It would also depend on the schedule. Like the schedule too, I think is a little sketchy. You know, like we raced Talladega in second to last round in the playoff. Like that's just to me, that's kind of crazy. And I think it makes people race a little differently. Whereas I don't know, like to me, drafting tracks are like something I'd like to see either out of the playoffs or no winning in gets in. I don't know. That's my own opinion, but this is what it is.
I'm just saying.
Well, guys didn't win this year. Bush and Reddick, etc. They weren't winning a championship either. Yeah, but it'd be more. Could we agree that it'd be more fun to watch them racing against the playoff guys because they actually have beat them in other tracks this year besides drafting tracks?
No, not exactly, because I don't think it would be necessarily. Okay, hear me out. If all of a sudden a Harrison Burton who's been running like trash, right? And then they figure it out and they go on a run and they start finishing 15th every week. Is that not exciting? Like you're like, wow, they figured it out. They really stepped it up.
It would be, but at that point,
SPG.
it's like I think you kind of know where they're at. Where like you mentioned Busher and Reddick. If Busher and Reddick go out there and are finishing top 10 every week, that's stuff that they can do depending on the tracks on the schedule. Where like for those other guys that are 30th in points, it doesn't really matter what track's on the schedule. If it's not a drafting track, they're not getting there.
If SBG would have had the run at the beginning of the playoffs that he's having right now, he probably would have made it to the round of 12.
Yeah, or round of 8 because he'd win at Roval.
So like that, and I hear all the arguments, but that's my point. That's where I look at it. I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe the 16th guy deserved it. But you're telling me that you're really upset that the 25th guy beat it over the 16th guy when the 16th guy wasn't going to make it either? Because the 16th guy didn't win. Mm-hmm. But I want it to be fair. I do.
Yeah. That's and that's the thing. Like, I don't have the answers. I don't know what it is. I don't think 36 race point format, like old school format's the answer. I think playoffs are needed just with format tweaks. If the only change was that there's more than one race at the end, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, okay.
3 or 4 races, cool with that.
Yeah.
I just wanted, at the risk of making this run longer, Mamba, your first suggestion, I think I understand it, but I'm intrigued by it. You were saying basically like not to have a set number of guys that make the playoffs. It's top 16 in points and anybody else who's won. So you could end up with like I'm digging that, and then make the round of 12. Make the round of 12. So there it is.
Wild card round, and then the round of 12.
I don't mind that.
Because
then you help smaller teams, like you said. Like you need to be able to build these smaller teams up, Ryan. Like that
kind of does what I'm saying, because you still have the top 16 in points, like I was asking for, and then you have those other guys that won. So it kind of
does
that anyway.
Scenario. I'm into that.
It's strictly about the business for me. Healthy, if the 25th team in points is healthy, that means we're very healthy. Yeah. If they're not, that's not good. That's how I look at it. That's a lot of jobs.
For the people that also have, and this will be the last, well, if we keep talking about it, that's fine as well. But I think to close it out in terms of I've listened to and kept an open mind to the full season long format. To me, I'm not personally about it, because what are the 26 races? Like, what are you considering the 26 races before the 10 of the playoffs? To me, that's a full season long format to get yourself to win the. I feel like a lot of people don't think about it like that.
It's more than the whole Truck Series season.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So I that's how I've been since the playoffs has existed. That's how I've been looking at it. And it's cool because you have multiple levels to NASCAR and not only playoff drivers, but you have guys fighting for the final spots and points, and then rounds, and then season long is 26, then you make it on to 10. But I think it's great dialogue. Yeah.
I'll end it right here with a nice little bow on it. This year, Alex Palou, for like the last 4 races in IndyCar, they were just waiting for him to like mathematically wrap it up. When we're talking about mathematically, there's no shot that if we're talking about you being mathematically in it, you're not in it, right? Like you're not in it. And this year, William Byron in 25 races won the regular season, which is just a flat out point steal, which is the old style flat out. He gave up in a 6-week period. He finished 25th or worse 4 times in 6 weeks and still won by a full race. That's I don't want that at the end of the year, man. I just don't want that.
Yeah. And he is reaping the benefits of it as well. I think the coolest part about him, if he wins this championship, is the fact that, and I don't think I'm wrong, I don't think we've seen a regular season champion win the championship for at least since that's existed. Yep, I haven't, and I've kept that in my mind because I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like it just has never happened. But it's those extra points that you get for that, and it rewards the work he's done over the season long, puts it into the playoffs, gets him to this moment here. And I think it's another thing too is it just builds a little more excitement, in my opinion, a little more excitement, a little more hype that we can build around to continue talking when the playoffs are going to happen and everything like that, or a sort of championship format.
What else we got in there?
What else we got? I think this is a good one. Because we're talking about Xfinity teams or O'Reilly teams for next season. Mamba, do you have any sort of insight in terms of any other teams switching to Ford? Because as of now, it doesn't look like many are out there in the Ford camp for that lower series.
That's kind of what I was talking about before. I don't know how we get the value back in it for the Cup teams to have Xfinity series or O'Reilly series teams, because like not having a Penske car out there, it definitely matters, right? Haas was it. Obviously, they're switching to Chevrolet, so like it's not good that there isn't a flagship team feeding down, right? We need to. I don't know what the answer is, but we definitely need to figure that out. I don't know what it is.
Okay. Yeah. And then Mike Manning asks, Mamba, would you be open for a Kevin Harvick happy hour live at a Cup Series race next year?
Brother, not only open to it, I've been pushing for it.
Nice.
At the NASCAR Experience, because I do a lot of stuff at the NASCAR Experience, and I really want us to do at least during the Fox portion. Because I know Kevin's going to be there. Caitlin's going to be there. Obviously, I'm going to be there. I really hope that we can figure that out. I think it'd be fun to have you guys all right there. And while we're cutting it up, y'all being able to ask questions live. Because in our show, we do pull questions from fans and stuff, but we never get to enough. You know what I mean? So I think that'd be really cool. So, yeah, Mike, I'm hoping, I'm trying, man. Put it out in the airways, man. Let them know that you guys want that.
Awesome.
If you need an opener and want us to do the draft before you guys go on, just make sure the mics are working, all the levels are set. Just let us know, and we'll run a quick draft before you guys go live. No problem.
I think that'd be fire.
Come on now, bring the gold jacket. Perfect segue into Mike Manning's next question. The draft meetup next year. We'll see if it happens. If it does, would love to be before Kevin Harvick's happy hour. Appreciate all the comments. I'll shout you guys out now. Easton, everyone from Zach Team 54, Mike Manning. We have Big Ross in the chat. Miami Mike, Sean McBride, Sam Hall, Brian Twining, TK. Every Cody Seymour was in the chat. I saw my boy Mustard Rob in the chat. Lee Norton in the chat. Landon Myers in the chat. Everyone that joins us each and every week. I appreciate you guys. Go Fast Troy in the chat. I'm scrolling up to make sure I get each and every one of you guys because we couldn't do it without you. It was awesome to see your questions. Miami Mike was in the chat saying some crazy stuff about what he was doing at Vegas. Anyways, for those other people, he's my boy.
I still don't understand what that means.
He was repping Tom. That's my boy. And then just everyone that was here tonight, really appreciate it as we always do. And I wanted to just shout you guys out for continuing. Hot Pass was here and everyone else. So yeah, everyone in chat making a great show every week.
We'll do one more show next week. We'll celebrate Phil's win again, and then we have our season-long contest too. We'll show those standings. Tino, maybe you can print it out and hold it up to the screen so everyone can see our standings. And then
if I win.
And we'll say goodbye to everybody again then. This has been great, Mamba. I really appreciate you jumping on here, man. It's been awesome. You don't have to answer those questions, but you do, and that's why we love you. So we really appreciate it, and thanks, dude. It's been great.
Happy to do it. I'm glad I was the first guest, so at least the bar has been set. Hopefully, the next one jumps over it, leaps and bounds.
Awesome. Yeah, we hope to see you at a race too. I know I'm going to a couple next year. I know you've ran into Tino before, so we'll hit you up wherever we're going.
Who doesn't run into Tino?
Yeah,
He's hard to miss.
Hard not to when I'm running into you guys on purpose.
when the sun hits that gold jacket. All right, thank you, everyone.
Anything we could look out for to tune into for wrapping up the season? Any shows? Any where people can find you?
We got the obviously the Kevin Harvick Happy Hour podcast. We have an episode that'll drop Tuesday, championship episode. Whoever the champion is, I think that episode will drop Thursday. We'll come back, I do believe, the next week, do superlatives, fan votes on favorite burnout, favorite race, biggest moment, all that good stuff. And then after the race, this is really cool. Right after the race, we will have an inside the race show, post-race show that's been Steve Letard's baby. So Steve will go from the booth, come on down. I think Alex Weaver is going to be involved. I'm going to be involved. I heard maybe Kyle Petty and Jeff Burton like this. It's going to be a cool post race. I think typically that's on NASCAR's YouTube. I do believe that is still kind of the thought process. Keep an eye out for that. So looking forward to that.
All right, cool. Awesome. Tino, why don't you let everyone know where they can, for 35 weeks, you've told them where to find you. Tubi Tino, everywhere. Tell them where to find you, Tino.
Yes, sir. So Tubi Tino, as always, wrapping that up this weekend. Man, that'll be super fun. Also on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90 will be live pre-race with Pete Pistone. So that's super cool as well. Maybe on with the Nuke the House Boys too. We'll see if they hit me up about that, but they've been a great partner all year long. I'll be on Front Stretch as well, my boy Wyatt Watson, talking playoffs, betting, championship, everything that's culmination of this year. And of course, you can follow me at Tino, PATTIGNO, all on social media.
Well, where can everyone find your work?
This is sad, last race of the year, but you can give me a follow at Full Tank Phil on Instagram and X, and Full Tank with Phil's name of the podcast, wherever you get it. And we're all squared away. New episodes out now for Phoenix, putting together that betting card. And man, can't appreciate all you guys anymore. Mamba, great job kicking things off for us as the first ever guest. This was fantastic to go way above and beyond with the time that we kind of told you. Just chopping it up with everyone. This is fantastic. And the chat, you guys always bring it. So this is something I'm going to miss in the off season for sure. So thanks to everyone. And I hope everyone has a great championship weekend, because I think these 3 races are going to be fantastic.
Awesome. Yep. Agreed. Mamba, we put you on the spot tonight too. No one being the first guest is tough because it's tough. You got to pick one for every team. Sorry, we threw that at the wild card with you at the end there, but the Bowman pick is nice. But the SVG pick, that's kind of like your dark horse anyway. So I like that. But it worked out great. Can't wait to post the results on Monday. Hopefully you win, get to pick a charity we'll donate to. Be a lot of fun. Wintherace.info, all the stats, data, everything you heard tonight, you can find wintherace.info. Community, join the Discord, a lot of fun. I know we only got 1 race to go, but we're in there all off season really anyways, talking other sports too. So it's just a good place to kind of hang out. And when the NASCAR season starts, we ramp it up. So wintherace.info, check it out. Thank you everyone for listening tonight, and good luck this weekend. Enjoy the race.
Merry Chrysler.